'cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks.
Casey Anthony resurfaces as a legal advocate on TikTok. Casey Anthony has launched a TikTok account and Substack newsletter. TikTok. Casey Anthony, the Florida mom who was acquitted of murdering her 2-year-old daughter in 2011, has resurfaced, promoting a new TikTok account and online newsletter she says will help her serve as a legal advocate for her dead daughter, women, and those in the LGBTQ community. "This is my first of probably many recordings on a series I am starting," Anthony said in video posted to TikTok on March 1st. "I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I have been in the legal field since 2011 and, in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter." She continued, "For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself." Anthony was found not guilty of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter in the death of her daughter, Kaylee, but she was found guilty on 4 counts of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, white privilege at its finest, my brothers and sisters. Her mom, Cindy Anthony, reported Kaylee missing in 2008 and told the 911 dispatcher that it smelled like there's been a dead body in Anthony's car. Casey was arrested in connection with Kaylee's disappearance and death that same year, initially telling police the girl had vanished while she was with a babysitter. She apparently failed to report any crime involving her daughter and moved in with her boyfriend. File Casey Anthony smiles before the start of her sentencing hearing on charges of lying to a law enforcement officer at the Orange County Courthouse July 7, 2011 in Orlando, Florida. During the 2011 trial, Anthony's father, George Anthony, testified that when he picked up his daughter's car from a tow yard, the smell reminded him of a human corpse, and that he found a white bag in the trunk with a pizza box and maggots in it. "Please don't let this be Casey or Kaylee," George said he said to himself when he opened the trunk of the car, reported WKMG at the time. Experts later testified that the vehicle did contain evidence of human remains in the trunk. Anthony's circus-like trial, one of the first high-profile criminal trials of the Internet age, was carried live on cable networks and was the focus of daily commentaries by HLN's Nancy Grace, who called her the most hated mom in America and, derisively, tot mom. Kaylee's skeletal remains were discovered in a wooded area in December 2008, about half a mile from the Anthony family home. The cause of her death remains unsolved. Defense lawyers argued that Kaylee accidentally drowned in the family's above-ground swimming pool in June 2008 and her grandparents then attempted to cover up her death and dispose of her remains. File This undated file photo released by the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Orlando, Florida shows Kaylee Marie Anthony. Orange County Sheriff's Office prosecutors, meanwhile, argued that Anthony suffocated her daughter with chloroform and taped her mouth shut. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to, Anthony said in her TikTok video, encouraging viewers to visit and subscribe to her Substack newsletter. Subscriptions to Anthony's Substack channel cost $10 a month or $100 annually, although she also offers free subscriptions with limited content, the website shows. While the comments section on Anthony's video was turned off, the video had garnered more than 1.9 million views and 16,000 likes by Monday morning, and her TikTok account had close to 40,000 followers. Next, my brothers and sisters, here is a video of Casey Anthony talking about her new website here.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011, and in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened, and it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur, and when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car, and I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
Next, my brothers and sisters, here is a video audio of the news people talking to Casey Anthony about her case and how is she making a living to survive too.
Kaylee would be 12 this year.
What would she be like right now?
A total badass. I would like to think she'd be listening to classic rock and playing sports and not taking it from anybody.
But you were also convicted of one thing.
Lying to the cops.
Right.
People lie to the cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. I'm just one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted that they lied. I see why I was treated the way that I was, even had I been completely truthful with those officers.
But weren't you truthful enough? And I understand it might have been out of panic.
No, it was things that I didn't know at the time. I'm still not even certain as I stand here today about what happened.
To your understanding, how did she die?
I don't know.
You don't know? Something about drowning, possibly.
Everyone else has their theories. I don't know.
So your parents had her?
My dad did.
And next thing you know, she's missing, right? How did it play?
I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened.
Give me the situation when things went wrong. When did things go wrong? All of a sudden, it's like, where's Kaylee? Like, is that how it went?
No, what I remember is being in bed, my mom coming in before she left for work and saying goodbye to us, and then waking up several hours later. And it
Later in the
began
morning.
later in the morning. hour, 2 hours later, and not knowing where she was.
Don't you wish you know what happened?
Absolutely. One of the reasons I'm so good at my job is because I'm taking everything that the state tried to use against me, like my Facebook and pictures and all that stuff that they distorted. I now go through and research people's backgrounds and put everything together in a good way. I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care about that. I never will. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty good at night.
Casey Anthony was accused of murdering her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee Anthony, in 2008. Kaylee's remains were found months later in a wooded area near their home, and Casey's behavior during the investigation, including not reporting her daughter missing for over a month and giving contradictory statements, led many to believe she was guilty. The prosecution argued that Casey intentionally killed Kaylee, pointing to the fact that the child's body showed signs of being left in a plastic bag, and her mother's behavior seemed suspicious. They also presented evidence, such as the smell of human decomposition in Casey's car and a search history on her computer for how to make chloroform, which suggested premeditation. However, the defense countered with the claim that Kaylee accidentally drowned in the family pool and that Casey panicked, hiding the body out of fear. They also argued that there was insufficient physical evidence to prove murder. The jury ultimately found Casey not guilty of first-degree murder, though they convicted her of providing false information to law enforcement. The verdict sparked public outrage, with many believing that the evidence pointed to her guilt. Some speculated that there may have been jury bias, public pressure, or even political or financial motivations at play, given the media frenzy surrounding the case. Some believe that the prosecution failed to connect the dots effectively or present a clear, conclusive narrative, leading to reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. The trial remains a highly debated topic, with conspiracy theories about possible jury tampering, media influence, and potential misconduct.
Has Casey Anthony been in any physical altercations since her trial?
Yes, Casey Anthony was involved in a physical altercation in May 2021 at a bar in West Palm Beach, Florida. According to People magazine, she argued with a woman named Thelma Moya over a man they both dated. The situation escalated when Moya allegedly threw a drink at Anthony. Police responded to the incident, but no charges were filed, and the matter was considered closed.
So this lady f***ed over a guy and not her daughter?
Yes, it was reportedly over a guy.
Where does Casey Anthony live now?
Casey Anthony has lived in South Florida since her acquittal in 2011. In early 2024, she moved to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to be with her then-boyfriend, Tyson Ray Rhodes. However, by November 2024, reports indicated they had separated. After the split, she reportedly returned to South Florida.
Investigative reporter Terry Parker covered Anthony's trial 15 years ago, and she joins us now with what Anthony is saying and not saying. Terry.
That's right. Casey Anthony, once known as the most hated woman in America, is sitting in her car, as many TikTokers do, giving advice to people who may need a legal advocate. Anthony doesn't say how she is qualified to give this advice, except to say that she's been in the legal field now since 2011, when she was surprisingly acquitted of murdering her 2-year-old toddler, Kaylee. I did reach out and text her. She answered me right away. She declined to do an interview or to comment further, and she also declined to give me permission to use that TikTok in this report. Meanwhile, online backlash is growing. It's been swift. It's been brutal. But at this moment, I just checked, she has 46,000 followers and climbing.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Casey Anthony, who was acquitted in 2011 of killing her 2-year-old daughter Kaylee in Orlando, is now calling herself a legal advocate and researcher. Her first TikTok post states, "I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter." Anthony states that she has been in the legal field since 2011. That's when her trial ended and she moved to West Palm Beach. She's since moved out of state. Many people consider her acquittal a huge miscarriage of justice, and she has mostly stayed out of sight since then. The backlash to her new online appearance has been swift and brutal. People say they remember the shocking details. Anthony did not report her daughter missing for over a month, but instead was seen partying and entering a hot body contest. She lied to police and to her parents about Kaylee's whereabouts, inventing a fictitious nanny she said kidnapped the child. Finally, 6 months later, little Kaylee's body was found in nearby woods, wrapped in a laundry bag with duct tape around her skull. Prosecutors said Anthony had first drugged the toddler with chloroform so she could live the single lifestyle. Anthony, however, insisted her father had something to do with the child's death and disposed of the body. She also accused him of sexually abusing her and Kaylee, which he has always denied. In her TikTok, she says her post will not be about her parents, but at some point she will respond to things they have said and done. Anthony is also launching a Substack newsletter saying she'll provide legal resources and support for those facing legal challenges, particularly in the LGBTQ and women's rights communities. And it's unclear how Casey Anthony plans to advocate for her dead daughter. I asked her when her next TikTok would post, and she declined to answer that as well. She did post on Substack, though, that the presumption of innocence is a sacred right afforded to all individuals arrested in this country. So far, as I said, she's got over 46,000 followers since launching her first post on Saturday, but she's got the comments turned off, which hasn't stopped others from blasting her in their own. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
Also, my brothers and sisters, I almost forgot this. Here is a website link, Casey Anthony TikTok account here to report her TikTok account also to my brothers and sisters. If you like this video, please share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and other social media platforms to my brothers and sisters.
'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way.